No. No. The World Trade Center didn't make it this far.
What about people down there?
No, there's nobody down there either. They cleared the street. See, that's why they didn't try to put that fire out.
Come on. Yeah, now it runs. Now the point of this illustration is that I show you the NIST simulation running side by side with the World Trade Center coming down. And it's up for you to compare. Yeah, we'll be running a little over time here, the first time of my presentation, but I hope you appreciate the opportunity to come with questions. They did their best.
That's terrible.
But the actual, as I pointed out some time ago, the core observation is that it has never happened before. The steel frame high-rise collapsed due to fire. It just doesn't happen. So I round out this account for this mechanism by showing you the fire which occurred in Beijing, in China, about 2 years ago, when they celebrated New Year. They do not do that on the 31st of December. And the Chinese are very fond of fireworks. They invented the gunpowder actually in the 9th and 10th century, a long time ago. And they kept up with the craft. And so they wanted to fire some fireworks here on the top of this building, here in the background, which belongs to the headquarters of the National Chinese Television. This is the main building, headquarters for the night, and this is a monstrous building. These are an ordinary high-rise compartment building over here. This is a gigantic structure. So they had to build a little extra here on the backside. 150 meters was the height of it. It's called the Mandarin Hotel because the top 20 stories of the building is reserved for a hotel. And it was under construction, 40 stories. This is 36 meters less than Building 7. It was under construction, and they had placed some fireworks on the roof here, but something went wrong. One of these pictures is from the day before, and the other one is from the day after. Well, most people can pardon this one as the day after, sure. And of course, it looks a little ragged, and it's definitely there's suits here, and there are no carpets and furniture left, but the building is still there. It remains standing. And just to turn the mouse around. This is the best picture we have of Building 7, where the roof fire is on from the north side. I put in these pictures simply because I think they're impressive. This is viewed from the other side, the Mandarin Hotel. These are people, okay? So this is some gigantic structure. When the Chinese one, they can impress. Okay, so summary for all this is, we dare to conclude, steel-framed high-rises simply do not collapse due to fire. Period. But if somebody comes along and says, well, maybe on this very, very special day, this could happen because this was the day of firsts, we must say that random small fires cannot cause sudden onset of the whole structure. You cannot, from random small fires, expect completely symmetrical collapse of the whole building. You could never observe free fall, which implies that, as I have said, that the whole supporting structure of the whole building was eliminated at the same time. In order for free fall to occur, they should all be eliminated, or the last supporting structures at least within fractions of seconds, okay, or within seconds, as close to at the same time as you can possibly get. And you can never get total collapse all the way down because you have these random office fires. Yes, question please.
In your video of the building collapsing, the structure on the roof disappears first before the building goes down.
Yes. So something is obviously going on. What I'm saying is not that all the structures were eliminated at the same time. But I'm saying that when the building starts to collapse, then all of the structure was eliminated. What probably happened, and the seismic track of the event is of 80 seconds. So obviously there's something going on prior to the collapse of the building. And what happened then, there is, again, you're taking the clues out of the second part of my presentation, because what you do is you take out most of the supporting structure until the building is just standing. And then something happens which I'll reveal after the intermission. Sorry, you're thinking too fast. Victoria.
Were the fires only on the north side?
No, the fires is not on the that's true. And the west side and the east side. The south side is, I'll show the fire, the picture I started showing of the fires is the only account of the south side. But NIST is hiding something on the south side. What I am doing, I'm making an account of the official report. But there are actually there's one, in my opinion, there is one picture from the south side without smoke where there's no fires to be seen. But I don't have to show it because it's not in the NIST report.
And I believe you, but I saw a documentary on TV, I think it was a year ago, where they were trying to argue against this whole theory.
Yeah.
And there were firemen who were adamant that there was the other side that you don't see in the photographs was not vision in front of.
But what you're saying is that the lady here is referring to a documentary in television where there were firemen saying that the south side was a raging inferno of fires. This is not in the NIST report. If it's the case, it is not the case. I think it was made up. Don't trust television. But this is all I can say. I'm referring, this is the NIST report. This is the official account which we have to relate to. And they have no mention of fires in the south. So I believe we have a problem. In natural science, there's something called the scientific method, which some of you might consider outrageously academic. It is not. It is nothing but common sense. But when you're dealing with your surroundings, when you're dealing with nature, the first thing you have to do is make observations and experiments with an unprejudiced mind. You have to be ready to see what you're seeing. And then when you have your observations, you come up with a hypothesis. And a hypothesis is a model which should account for all the observations. So when you have an idea of where your hypothesis is going, you take a closer look. You test your hypothesis and ask the question, can your hypothesis account for all the observations? And if it's an experimental science, can the observations be predicted? In this case, if NIST were right, you would expect that you could demolish steel frame high-rises by starting a fire on some secretary's floor, office on some floor, and then have the whole thing collapse. This would be a wonderful, cheap, and easily patented method for bringing down high-rises. But this has not happened, and it is probably not very well. But and I think, in my opinion, the NIST hypothesis for the collapse of Building 7 cannot account for the observations. And in this situation, you have to come up with a new hypothesis, and this is what I offer you when we have had a show intermission. Thank you.